Life does not break you with the storm you see coming. It breaks you with the one that arrives in silence. One moment you believe the ground is steady. The next you feel it shaking beneath your feet. And in that instant, the only thing that decides your fate is not the storm, not the noise, not the chaos. It is your ability to remain calm. A calm mind is not weakness. It is the sharpest blade you will ever carry. It sees paths where others see dead ends. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. It holds the wheel when panic begs to take control. Most people lose, not because the challenge was unbeatable, but because they surrendered to fear before the fight even began. You do not need more talent. You need composure. You do not need more force. You need stillness. That is where true power lives. The first tool is always your breath. In the space between panic and poise, your breath is the bridge. The world will tell you that strength comes from pushing harder, shouting louder, moving faster. But the warriors who last, the leaders who guide, the men and women who walk through fire without being consumed, they all master one thing first. They master the pause. One deep breath is enough to shift biology itself. Slow the breath, and the heart follows. Slow the heart, and the mind clears. Navy divers use it underwater. Surgeons use it in the heat of life or death. Athletes use it when seconds decide legacy. You can use it right now. No one has to see it. No one has to know. But with each breath, you reclaim the throne of your mind. Do not mistake calm for the absence of feeling. Calm is not numb. Calm is not silence. Calm is mastery. It is feeling the weight of the storm without being crushed beneath it. It is anger that does not control you, fear that does not paralyze you, doubt that does not define you. When you slow your breath, you are not denying the chaos outside. You are reminding yourself that clarity is possible inside. Breath is portable power. It goes with you everywhere. It costs nothing. It requires no permission, but it gives you control when everything else slips away. Think of the times you let emotion run the show. Words spoken too fast, decisions made in heat, the regret that comes when the dust settles and you see what panic stole from you. Those moments did not ruin you because the world was cruel. They ruined you because you handed over the wheel. Breath takes it back. And with practice, the pause becomes instinct. Your default shifts. Fear loses its grip. Clarity becomes your companion. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself again and again, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That is not philosophy to admire. It is survival to practice. When the storm rises, your training decides who you become. Train your body, yes. Train your skills, yes. But above all, train your breath. Because in that stillness, you become unshakable. Calmness is not just for peace. It is for pressure. Anyone can appear composed when life is quiet. The test is whether you can stay steady when life roars. And the truth is clear. You will not rise to the occasion. You will fall to the level of your preparation. If you have trained your mind to pause, to breathe, to choose, then when the storm comes, you will meet it with clarity. If you have not, the storm will decide for you. So begin small. In traffic, in conversation, in the moments when irritation stings or impatience burns. Choose one breath before you act. Choose silence before you speak. These are not small choices. They are bricks in the fortress of your composure. Day after day they stack, until one day you discover that what once shook you now barely moves you. Calm has become your strength. Breath has become your weapon. Remember this. Calmness is rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. In a world of noise, the steady voice is the one that commands attention. In a room of panic, the still presence is the one people follow. Calm earns respect without asking for it. It is the quiet authority that shapes outcomes without ever raising its volume. And it begins, always, with one breath. Reaction feels powerful. It feels alive. Someone insults you, and your anger leaps to defend. Someone blocks your path, and your frustration surges to push back. But reaction is not strength. Reaction is surrender. The moment you react, you hand the wheel of your life to whatever startled you. You are no longer choosing. You are being driven. Response is different. Response is the measured step when the world demands you run. It is the deliberate word when the crowd shouts for noise. It is the choice that serves the future, not just the moment. In the small pause between what happens and what you do lies your greatest weapon. The Stoics understood this gap. Epictetus taught, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Viktor Frankl later echoed the same truth. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our freedom and our growth. That space is yours to protect. Most people lose it. They confuse speed with strength. They answer every email instantly. They return every insult immediately. They let urgency become their master. But the truth is clear. Speed without clarity is a trap. It wins the moment, but loses the war. The sharpest archer is not the one who fires first. It is the one who breathes, waits, and releases with precision. Calmness gives you that precision. Response turns panic into power. Think back. How many times have you wished you could take back what you said, redo what you did, unsend what you sent? Those regrets are the scars of reaction. But every time you pause, every time you hold your ground for just 1 second more, you save yourself from damage that could last years. That pause is where wisdom lives. It is where you remember not just what you want to do, but who you want to become. Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." In the heat of a moment, your choice to respond instead of react defines you. Do not confuse reaction with authenticity. Reaction is impulse. Response is identity. Reaction is noise. Response is signal. And the world listens to signal. This is why training matters. You cannot expect to step into fire and suddenly become steel. You must forge yourself before the flames. Every time you pause, before replying. Every time you let silence carry what anger wanted to shout. Every time you breathe instead of snapping. These are the push-ups of patience. The small drills that prepare you for the battles you cannot yet see. And when those battles come, you will not need to improvise. You will already know what to do. Because response has become your habit. Understand this. People who react are easy to control. Push them a little, and they erupt. Press the right button, and they follow. But those who respond cannot be steered by others. They are steady. They are grounded. They choose their direction. Not because the world is gentle, but because they have chosen to be unshaken. That is real freedom. That is real strength. Reaction burns energy fast. It leaves you scattered, drained, regretful. Response conserves it. It allows you to think clearly for as long as the moment demands. In negotiation, in relationships, in personal growth, the calm responder always has the advantage. Because while others are trapped in tunnel vision, you still see the whole field. You notice the opportunities they miss. You move with precision while they stumble in haste. This discipline does not silence your emotions. It honors them. You will feel the sting of anger, the pull of fear, the rush of doubt, but you will not let them rule you. You will treat them as information, not command. You will let the first wave pass, and then you will decide. That is the art of response. That is the mark of mastery. So begin today. Practice in the smallest conflicts. Hold your tongue 1 more second. Let an email wait before you reply. Breathe once before you answer the sting of words. These moments may feel small, but they are the bricks of resilience. And one day, when the storm comes, you will discover that you are no longer pulled under. You are the one who stands. You are the one who decides. And that decision, repeated enough times, becomes the unshakable core of who you are. The way you see a problem shapes everything about how you face it. Two people can stand in front of the same obstacle. One sees a dead end, the other sees a doorway. The difference is not in the facts. The difference is in the frame. When you call something a problem, it feels heavy, immovable, final. Your mind begins to close. It is like walking into a room where every door is locked. You stop looking for a way through. You start believing there is none. But when you call that same situation a challenge, everything shifts. A challenge is meant to be met. A challenge invites effort. It carries the promise of growth. The walls that felt unscalable now look like steps. The locked doors become puzzles. Nothing in reality has changed, but the energy you bring to it has. And that energy decides whether you quit or rise. This is the art of reframing. It does not mean lying to yourself. It does not mean painting disaster in bright colors and pretending it is a gift. It means choosing the angle that makes you stronger rather than weaker. Carl Jung once said, "It all depends on how we look at things and not how they are in themselves." That truth is your weapon. You cannot change what has already happened, but you can always choose how to interpret it. And in that choice lies your freedom. Think of the last setback you faced. Maybe it was a failed project, a rejection, a door slammed shut. At first it felt like proof that you were not enough, that the opportunity was gone forever. But look back with distance. You may see that failure sharpened your skills. It redirected your focus. It prepared you for something bigger. Thomas Edison, after thousands of failed attempts at creating the light bulb, said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that will not work." His facts did not change. His frame did. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle is not a block in your path. It is the path. That shift is not comfort. It is power." Because the moment you stop fighting against reality and start asking how to use it, you turn resistance into fuel. The practice begins with questions. Instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" The first question makes you a victim. The second makes you a student. Problems happen to you. Challenges happen for you. And when you choose to learn, even pain has purpose. That does not make it easy. It does not erase frustration or grief. But it gives you a reason to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. Language matters. The words you speak shape the stories you tell yourself. Replace "I am stuck" with "I am figuring it out." Replace "this is impossible" with "this will take work." These small shifts in language create new pathways in the mind. They turn walls into doors. They remind you that movement is still possible. Over time, they rewire your default response. Where you once saw only endings, you begin to see beginnings. Another practice is to zoom out. When you press your face against a wall, it blocks your entire vision. But if you step back, you see it for what it is, one obstacle in a much larger landscape. What feels overwhelming today may one day be a turning point, a story you tell with gratitude. When you zoom out over the span of years, you see that no single moment defines you. What defines you is the pattern of how you meet them. Reframing does not remove difficulty. It removes its control over you. It protects your energy. Problems drain you because they trap you in resistance. Challenges draw you forward because they invite engagement. This shift is subtle, but it changes everything. It turns defense into offense. It turns survival into growth. And here is the truth. You will not always succeed. Some challenges will beat you. Some doors will remain closed. But if you can see even those defeats as teachers, you never walk away empty-handed. You walk away stronger, clearer, better prepared for the next storm. That is why reframing is not just positive thinking. It is the difference between breaking and bending, between despair and determination. Remember, you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. Every moment gives you that choice. And if you choose to see obstacles as part of the path, no storm can truly stop you. It can slow you, it can test you, but it cannot define you. Only you can do that. Patience is not built in silence. It is revealed in the storm. Anyone can appear calm when the air is still. The test comes when voices rise, when deadlines close in, when uncertainty claws at your chest. That is when patience becomes power. The world trains you for the opposite. Everything is instant. Answers in seconds. Products in hours. Entertainment in a tap. Waiting feels unnatural, almost wrong. But that is why patience is rare. And anything rare becomes valuable. In a society addicted to immediacy, the one who can wait, observe, and act only when the time is right has the clear advantage. They are not dragged by the same currents as everyone else. They are deliberate, they are grounded, and they rarely regret their choices. Patience is not inaction. Patience is timing. It is the archer who holds the bow steady, waiting for the wind to shift in his favor. It is the leader who lets the room empty its noise before speaking with precision. It is the fighter who waits for the single opening rather than throwing wild punches. Patience is not delay. Patience is power under control. Seneca said no great thing is created suddenly. That truth applies to buildings, to relationships, to wisdom, and to the strength of your own mind. Impatience is like a muscle. Feed it daily, and it will overpower you when the stakes rise. But patience is a muscle too. And every time you choose to breathe instead of lash out, to listen instead of interrupt, to wait instead of rush, you make it stronger. These are not small acts. They are the push-ups of composure. They prepare you for the moments where calm is no longer optional, but essential. Think about the last time impatience cost you. The email you sent too fast. The argument you fueled with words you did not mean. The opportunity you forced before it was ready. Regret lives in the wake of impatience. But patience gives you clarity. When you are not rushing to fix everything, you see the bigger picture. You notice patterns. You catch solutions that only reveal themselves with time. Many situations resolve on their own if you give them space. Patience is not passivity. It is strategy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river made up of the events which happen. Its current is strong. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept away, and another takes its place." Patience is learning to watch the river without feeling like you must grab every passing branch. You cannot hold it all. You are not meant to. You are meant to see, to wait, and to choose. Patience also protects you from manipulation. People who lack patience are easy to provoke. Push them slightly, and they explode. Delay them briefly, and they collapse. But those who have trained patience cannot be steered so easily. They are steady. They are unshaken. Others look to them not because they speak first, but because they hold their ground when everyone else is swept away. There is another gift in patience. It changes your relationship with time. Instead of seeing time as an enemy, you begin to see it as a partner. You learn that most things worth having, trust, skill, wisdom, are only earned with time. Patience teaches you to respect the process. To see that rushing often means repeating the same lesson later because you skipped it the first time. The irony is that patience, which seems like slowing down, is often the fastest path forward because it keeps you from mistakes that cost months or years to repair. History remembers the patient. Leaders who did not rush into war. Inventors who tested again and again. Builders who laid foundations before walls. Their strength was not just boldness, it was restraint. They knew when to act, and they knew when to wait. That balance gave them an edge over those who let impatience drive them. So build patience in the quiet moments. Let conversations breathe. Delay responses until clarity returns. Resist the pull to match the rush of the world. These are the small drills that prepare you for the greater tests. And when life gets loud, when pressure rises, you will not be scrambling to find patience. You will already have it. Not because the world is gentle, but because you have chosen to be steady. No one learns how to swim once they are already drowning. No one builds a fortress in the middle of a siege. Preparation is never dramatic. It is quiet. It is built in the small, ordinary moments long before the storm arrives. And when the storm does arrive, you do not rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your preparation. Life has a way of exposing you. The crisis you feared will not knock politely at your door. It will break it down without warning. And in that moment, every habit you have built in silence will reveal itself. If you have trained your mind to be calm, to breathe, to hold steady, you will find yourself rooted even as the world shakes. If you have not, chaos will decide for you. This is why training before the storm is not optional. It is survival. A firefighter does not wait for the flames to practice. A soldier does not wait for the battle to sharpen his blade. They drill. They rehearse. They simulate. Again and again until the response is automatic. Because in real emergencies, there is no time to think, only time to act. And the way you act is nothing more than the echo of your training. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." Wrestling requires you to expect resistance at all times, to be ready for sudden shifts, to hold your balance under pressure. That readiness cannot be improvised. It is built rep by rep, day by day, in moments no one sees. Think about the smallest choices you make each day. The moment you resist the urge to snap back in anger, the moment you choose silence instead of noise, the moment you take a slow breath before responding. These are not trivial. They are the push-ups of your patience, the pull-ups of your composure. They are training sessions, and every session prepares you for the day the real weight arrives. Preparation shrinks fear. Fear grows in the unknown. But when you know yourself, when you know your tools, fear has less room to grow. You may still feel the storm, but you will not be consumed by it. You will trust yourself, because you have proven to yourself that you can endure. Fear loses its grip when it collides with discipline. Preparation also changes your instincts. At first, you must remind yourself to pause, to breathe, to respond. But with enough repetition, these become your default. They replace reaction with response. They become second nature. So when the storm hits, you are not scrambling to remember. You are simply doing what you have already practiced. Do not be fooled by comfort. Clear skies lull people into thinking storms will never come. They let their discipline slip. They tell themselves they will prepare tomorrow. But tomorrow is a lie. The storm does not wait for you to be ready. It arrives when it chooses, and when it does, your comfort will not protect you. Only your preparation will. Preparation is not glamorous. It will not earn applause. No one will see the hours you spent breathing through your anger, reframing your setbacks, training your patience. But they will see the way you stand when everything else falls. They will see the steadiness in your eyes when others crumble, and they will call it strength. What they will not see is the quiet work you did in the dark, but you will know, and that knowledge will carry you through. Remember this: the storm will come. You cannot avoid it, but you can decide who you will be when it arrives. Will you be swept away, or will you be the one still standing? That choice is not made in the chaos. It is made now, in the small, ordinary moments that no one notices. In the discipline of preparation. Your mind is no different from your body. It needs training. It needs exercise. It needs daily repetition to stay sharp, flexible, and strong. Clarity is not luck. Calmness is not a gift. They are skills. And like any skill, they are built through practice. Most people expect composure to appear out of nowhere when they need it most. They think they will meditate once and be at peace forever. They think they will breathe once and never panic again. But that is not how strength works. A musician does not expect to play without practice. An athlete does not expect to win without training. Why should the mind be any different? If you want clarity under pressure, you must train it daily. Meditation is one of the simplest tools. 10 minutes of stillness where you notice your thoughts without chasing them. At first, it feels useless. The mind wanders. You grow restless. But slowly, You learn to see thoughts for what they are, passing clouds. And in that awareness, you gain control. You stop being dragged by every thought that enters your head. You start choosing which ones deserve your focus. This is training for crisis. Because in the storm, thousands of thoughts will crash against you. The one who has practiced stillness will not drown. Visualization is another tool. The act of rehearsing success in your mind before it arrives. Athletes use it before the final shot. Speakers use it before the stage. Leaders use it before difficult conversations. By imagining yourself in the moment, calm, clear, precise, you teach your mind to recognize success when it comes. You remove the shock. You make the extraordinary feel familiar. So when the moment arrives, you do not panic. You execute what you have already seen. Physical exercise may seem separate, but it is deeply connected. Movement clears stress hormones. It sharpens focus. It strengthens willpower. Every time you show up to train your body, even when you do not feel like it, you reinforce the mindset that says, I follow through. That mindset does not stay in the gym. It follows you into your work, your relationships, your decisions under pressure. These practices feed each other. Meditation sharpens awareness. Visualization gives that awareness direction. Exercise reinforces the discipline to do both, even when you do not feel like it. Together they form a feedback loop. Each one makes the others stronger. And over time, they shape not just how you think, but who you are. The mistake most people make is waiting for a crisis to start. They tell themselves they will meditate when life slows down. Visualize when the big opportunity arrives. Train when they have more time. But that is like deciding to pick up a shield after the battle has already begun. Preparation must come first. Daily habits must be built when the stakes are low, so they are ready when the stakes are high. This is not about hours. It is about consistency. 10 minutes of meditation in the morning, 5 minutes of visualization before work, 30 minutes of movement in the day. These are not luxuries. They are the bricks of your inner fortress. Skip them, and the fortress crumbles when pressure rises. Keep them, and you will stand even when the ground shakes. At first, it feels small. You wonder if it matters. But after weeks, you notice the change. You are less reactive. You listen longer. You think clearer. And when chaos arrives, you are not scrambling to invent composure. You are simply drawing from the well you have been filling every day. This is the truth. Mental strength is not something you hope for. It is something you build. Breath by breath, rep by rep, habit by habit. And when life tests you, those habits will answer. Not luck, not chance, discipline. Who you spend time with is not just a matter of preference. It is a matter of influence. Human beings adapt. We take on the rhythms of those around us, often without realizing it.
Their fears seep into our own. Their habits rub off on us. Their vision, or lack of it, becomes the lens through which we see the world. That is why your environment is not simply the space you live in.
It is the ecosystem of minds and energies you allow close. Think of a fire. Place it in the wind and it grows. Place it in water and it dies. The fire does not choose its fate. Its environment decides. The same is true for your mind. Put it in constant chaos, and it scatters. Put it among steady, disciplined people, and it steadies. Put it around visionaries, and it begins to see further. You cannot expect to rise while surrounded by people who only crawl. You cannot expect to think clearly while drowning in noise. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you become what you give your attention to. The people you give attention to are no different. Their words fill your head. Their attitudes shape your perspective. Their standards become your standards. If you surround yourself with complainers, complaints will feel natural. If you surround yourself with builders, building will feel natural. Influence is quiet, but it is relentless. And over time, it rewrites your identity.
This does not mean you only seek people who agree with you. Growth does not come from echo chambers. Some of the most powerful influences are those who challenge you. The mentor who pushes you past your excuses.
The friend who refuses to let you settle. The leader who asks the question you did not want to face. These are the voices that sharpen you, not by tearing you down, but by forcing you to refine your own thinking. They do not feed your weakness. They call forth your strength. Now, ask yourself, who leaves you drained and who leaves you steady? Who multiplies your clarity and who clouds it? Who reminds you of your power and who convinces you of your limits? You may not be able to cut every negative influence out of your life. The world is not that simple, but you can decide whose voices weigh the heaviest. You can decide which energies you allow into the core of your mind. History shows us that greatness is rarely achieved in isolation. Marcus Aurelius had his tutors. Seneca had his mentors. Even the Stoics, who preached self-mastery, built their strength in dialogue, in community, in shared wisdom. The people you choose are not just companions. They are architects of your future. Choose carelessly, and you build a weak foundation. Choose wisely, and you build a fortress. There is a saying, "Show me your friends, and I will show you your future." It is not cliché. It is a law of human nature. Proximity shapes destiny. You do not have to follow the patterns of those around you, but you will absorb them unless you are deliberate. So be deliberate. Choose those who remind you of your higher self, those who make you patient when you would otherwise rush, those who keep you grounded when you would otherwise drift, those who make you more courageous simply by standing beside them. Environment does not only shape how you think, it shapes how far you reach. If you surround yourself with people who settle for less, ambition will feel like arrogance. If you surround yourself with people who strive, improvement will feel like oxygen. One group drags you back to what is safe. The other pulls you forward to what is possible. That pull can change the entire direction of your life without you even noticing. That is the silent power of environment. It becomes the soil in which your future grows. Choose your soil wisely. Your mind is the most valuable space you will ever own. Yet most people guard it the least. They lock their doors to protect their homes. They put passwords on their devices. They insure their possessions. But their thoughts, emotions, and focus, the very forces that shape their entire lives, they leave unguarded, open to anyone and anything. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is survival. Carl Jung wrote, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." Protecting your energy begins with looking inward and realizing that your peace is not public property. It belongs to you. And you decide who gets close enough to leave an imprint. Every conversation, every piece of news, every person you let into your head takes something from you. When that something is wisdom, encouragement, or clarity, the exchange is worth it. But when it is constant negativity, manipulation, or noise, the cost is devastating. Negativity is subtle. It enters like a draft through a cracked window. A little gossip here, a little complaint there. Soon, the room grows colder without you realizing why. That is what happens when you leave your energy unguarded. Over time, doubt, distraction, and cynicism creep in. They weaken your focus. They erode your confidence. They cloud your direction. And by the time you notice, the damage is already done. Protecting your energy does not mean isolation. It means boundaries. It means choosing which voices enter your mind and how deeply. It means recognizing that not everyone deserves full access to your mental and emotional space. Some people will drain you without intending to. They are trapped in their own cycles of fear and chaos. And without boundaries, their storm becomes yours. You can care for them without carrying them. That is emotional discipline. To empathize without absorbing. To be present without being pulled under. It also means guarding against the invisible intrusions, the constant feed of notifications, the endless stream of news, the voices online that add nothing but agitation. Attention is your currency. Every time you give it away, you give someone else a seat at the table of your mind. Protecting your energy means spending that currency wisely, feeding it to what builds you, withholding it from what drains you. Marcus Aurelius said, If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Protecting your energy is the practice of revoking that power from what does not deserve it. It is refusing to hand over your peace to circumstances, people, or distractions that have no right to rule you. Boundaries do not have to be loud. Sometimes it is simply changing the subject. Sometimes it is walking away. Sometimes it is choosing not to open the app, not to engage the argument, not to replay the insult in your mind. Each of these is a defense. Each of these preserves your clarity. Protecting your energy also means restoring it, because no matter how careful you are, life will drain you. You will face stress, conflict, loss. You cannot avoid it, but you can build practices that refill you. Stillness, breath, time in nature, journaling, connection with those who lift you. These are not luxuries. They are repairs. Without them, you carry yesterday's damage into today. There is another layer. Protecting your energy means protecting your values. Every time you allow voices that mock or dismiss what you hold sacred, you risk drifting. Not in one dramatic moment, but in small compromises. In ignoring the quiet voice inside that says, "This is not you." Guarding your energy means listening to that voice and having the courage to keep it strong. It is not about shutting the world out. It is about not letting the world rewrite you. The truth is simple. You teach people how to treat your mind by how you protect it. If you allow constant intrusion, people assume your inner space is theirs to fill. But if you set boundaries, if you show that your peace and clarity are worth defending, others learn to respect them. And more importantly, you learn to respect them yourself. Protecting your energy is not rejection of others. It is acceptance of yourself. The storm will come. It always does. Sometimes you see it building on the horizon, slow and heavy, giving you time to brace yourself. Other times, it crashes without warning, tearing through the calm you thought would last a little longer. The form may change: a sudden loss, a betrayal, a collapse of plans you trusted, but the truth remains. The storm is inevitable. What matters is not avoiding it, but who you are when it arrives. The storm is a test. It strips away illusions. It exposes every habit you have built, every weakness you have fed, every strength you have forged. Under pressure, masks fall. Pretenses disappear. And what remains is the raw self, either steady or scattered. That is why preparation matters. That is why daily discipline matters. Because when the ground shakes, you will not rise to the occasion, you will fall to the level of your training. The storm magnifies everything. If panic is your default, panic will consume you. If patience is your habit, patience will save you. If chaos rules your mind, chaos will sweep you away. But if clarity has been trained into you, clarity will guide your steps. The storm does not change you, it reveals you. And yet, the storm is not only destruction, it is also opportunity. Every tree that grows strong has been tested by wind. Every mountain that stands tall has endured centuries of storms. Strength is not forged in peace. It is born in resistance. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The storm is not here to stop you. It is here to shape you. Do not waste your storm. Many people treat hardship as an interruption to life, something to endure until it passes. But those who grow, those who rise, see storms as part of the path. They ask not, "Why me?" but "What can this teach me?" That single shift changes everything. The first question makes you a victim. The second makes you a student of life. The storm also brings honesty. It reveals what is fragile and what is strong. It shows you who stands with you and who disappears. It uncovers which values are real and which were only words. And if you are willing to look closely, The storm will teach you truths you could never learn in calm. It will show you what matters and strip away what does not. But beware of arrogance. Surviving one storm does not mean you are immune to the next. The danger is believing you are unshakable, and in that pride, neglecting your preparation. Every storm is different. Each one requires your best. That is why discipline cannot fade with comfort. True readiness is not loud. It is quiet, consistent, humble. It remembers that the next test may be unlike anything you have faced. When the storm comes, you will feel its weight. You will feel fear tugging at your chest, anger rising in your throat, temptation urging you to act recklessly just to feel like you are doing something. That is the moment when your preparation matters most. Breathe. Remember your training. Hold the line. Because storms are not permanent. They pass. But what you become in them remains. So do not ask if the storm will come. Ask only this: when it does, will I be ready? In a world addicted to speed, noise, and reaction, calmness is rare. And anything rare becomes valuable. When everyone else is unraveling, the calm mind becomes magnetic. People look for someone steady, someone unshaken, someone whose presence feels like an anchor. That is the quiet power of calmness. It does not shout, it does not demand. It simply holds, and in holding, it leads. Calmness is often mistaken for weakness. People think the loudest voice wins. They think speed is strength. But noise without clarity is chaos, and speed without accuracy is failure. True strength is not found in shouting or rushing. It is found in the steady hand, the measured word, the unshaken gaze. Calmness is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of control. A calm mind sees what panic misses. It notices details erased by fear. It recognizes openings overlooked by haste. It conserves energy, while others burn theirs in frenzy. And when it moves with precision. The archer who rushes fires wildly. The archer who waits, breathes, and releases with control hits the mark. Calmness is that control. Calmness also spreads. Just as panic breeds panic, calmness breeds calm. In a tense room, one steady presence slows everyone else. It reminds them that thinking is still possible, that there is no need to surrender to chaos. This is why calm leaders are remembered. It is not just what they said, it is what they created, an atmosphere where others could think clearly too. Trust grows in calmness. People believe those who do not lose themselves under pressure. They know that when stakes are high, this person will not betray themselves or others with rash choices. Over time, that steadiness becomes credibility, influence, power. Not the flashy kind that fades, but the kind that lasts. But understand this: calmness is not the absence of emotion. It is mastery over it. The calm mind still feels the storm. It still feels the fear, the anger, the uncertainty. But it refuses to hand over the steering wheel. It allows emotion to inform, but never to command. That is why calmness is so rare. Because it is not instinctive. It is intentional. It is chosen again and again until it becomes who you are. This is why calmness must be practiced daily. In the small moments when no one is watching. In traffic, when your patience is tested. In conversations, when your pride is provoked. In disappointments, when your plans collapse. Each choice to remain calm is a brick in the foundation. And when the larger storms arrive, that foundation will hold. Calmness protects more than just your peace. It protects your future. Words spoken in anger can scar a relationship forever. Decisions made in haste can cost years of progress. Actions born of panic can burn bridges you did not even know you needed. Calmness shields you from those hidden costs. It gives you space to choose, to weigh, to act with wisdom. And over time, calmness becomes not just something you practice, but something you are. You become the lighthouse that stands while the sea rages. The one who shines steady light, guiding others through darkness. You do not need to announce it. People will feel it, they will seek it, and they will trust it. The rarest power in this world is not wealth. It is not status. It is not even knowledge. The rarest power is the ability to remain calm when others cannot, because in that calm you are free. Free from being ruled by fear. Free from being manipulated by chaos. Free to choose your own course while others are swept away. That is the power of calmness. And it is yours to build. Life will not ask if you are ready. It will not whisper a warning before the storm arrives. It will strike, suddenly or slowly, and reveal what you have built inside yourself. And in that moment, nothing outside you will matter as much as the strength you carry within. Not wealth, not titles, not promises, only the discipline of your mind, only the fortress you have prepared. We have walked through 10 lessons, 10 practices that together form the foundation of an unshaken life. It began with the breath, the simplest, most overlooked tool, always with you, always ready to steady you. From there came the power of response over reaction, the discipline to pause, to think, to reclaim control from the chaos. We explored the art of reframing, turning problems into challenges and setbacks into stepping stones. We practiced patience, the rare virtue of waiting, observing, and moving only when the time is right. We learned preparation, the daily quiet work that ensures when the storm arrives, you are not scrambling, you are ready. We built the habit of mental workouts, meditation, visualization, exercise, sharpening the mind as deliberately as the body. We examined environment, the influence of those around you, choosing soil that makes you grow rather than soil that starves you. We guarded our energy, setting boundaries, protecting clarity from the noise of the world. Then we faced the storm, acknowledging its inevitability, embracing its lessons, and standing firm in its winds. Finally, we recognize the rare power of calmness, the steady flame that burns when all other lights flicker. Together, these lessons are not scattered ideas. They are a system, a way of living that transforms fragility into resilience, that turns uncertainty into opportunity, that forges you into a presence the world cannot shake. But let us be honest. You will stumble. You will react when you should have paused. You will let anger take the wheel. You will forget to breathe, to wait, to reframe. You will fall short of the standard you have set. And that is fine, because mastery is not perfection. It is persistence. It is the commitment to return again and again, no matter how many times you are pulled away. Calmness is not about never being moved. It is about returning to stillness faster each time. And every time you do, you grow. Every time you resist the pull of panic, you strengthen the muscle of control. Every time you breathe through the storm, you build a deeper trust in yourself. Over months, over years, that trust becomes unshakable. You stop fearing the storm because you know you can meet it. You stop being controlled by others because you know your peace cannot be stolen. You stop doubting your own strength because you have proven it in 100 small battles no one else ever saw. That is what makes you different. Most people are prisoners of their impulses. They are yanked around by emotions, by news, by noise. They are tossed by every wave because they never built an anchor. But you have chosen another path, the Stoic path, the path of preparation, discipline, and calm. You are no longer at the mercy of the world. You are no longer waiting for peace to arrive. You are carrying it with you, in every breath, in every choice, in every step. Picture yourself in the storm. The wind is howling. The world is shaking. Fear is spreading like fire. And yet there you stand, calm, clear, steady. Not because the storm is weak, but because you are strong. Not because the world is gentle, but because you are unshaken. In that steadiness, Others will find courage. They will look to you, not because you asked, but because you have become a light in their darkness. That is the rarest power of all. So when the next test comes and it will remember what you have built, remember the breath, remember the pause, remember the patience, the preparation, the perspective. Protect your energy. Guard your peace. And above all, remain calm. Because calmness is freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from manipulation, freedom to choose your path, no matter the chaos. This is your foundation. This is your fortress. This is the voice that carries you forward. You are not fragile. You are not easily broken. You are not a flickering candle in the wind. You are the lighthouse, the steady flame, the unshaken presence in a trembling world. Carry that truth with you. Live it, protect it, and let the world see what it means to stand calm in the storm. Because in the end, that is the greatest victory, to master yourself, to hold your ground, to walk through every storm, not untouched, but unbroken, to remain steady, and by remaining steady, to change everything.